Yo, what's up guys? Let's talk about 2024, this channel. What are going to be the plans for it? So, starting right off, one of the most anticipated things that I'm really excited about is actually a bunch of these newer games. So I want to talk about the plans for this channel as far as an important update. What do we actually plan to play this year? So we still plan to play pretty much all of the stuff that I've been playing in the previous year, which is basically action RPGs and shooters. So starting right off, let's go ahead and go over one of the most anticipated games for me personally, which is Path of Exile 2. You're seeing the gameplay in the background here, but I also want to talk about the other things that I plan to play, because there are some people that are maybe new to the channel and maybe don't turn into the live streams, and I'm always talking about things that I'm looking forward to playing. There's also a bigger channel update in this video. So starting right off, let's go over one of the most important things. So what do I plan to play? So obviously Path of Exile 2 beta is coming out this year. Also on top of that, we got Diablo 4 Season 3, and we've got the new expansion. So we're definitely going to be covering both of those things on the channel, so don't worry. For those of you guys that maybe are newer to Diablo and like, why aren't you playing Diablo? It is very normal for any action RPG. This goes with Path of Exile, Torchlight, any action RPG. When the season drops, we kind of play it until towards the end of the season. It kind of dies off. People move on to other games. And while I wish Diablo 4 kept people's interest in a little bit longer for retention rate, let's say some like mid-season updates, at the current state right now, hopefully eventually we'll get to the point where we see these bigger updates that other games as a service get, like let's say Fortnite, right? I really want to get some massive Diablo 4 content to kind of keep myself interested in playing the game throughout the entirety of the season. But reality is, as of right now, most people check it out for a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, and then we play other games. That's normal. So expect to see a lot more Diablo content, as well as Path of Exile content when the time comes. But I want to mention some other games that I have some interest in and what I've got on my radar. So one of the games that I've got on my radar is Throne and Liberty. So this is going to be a new free-to-play game, and it was actually originally called Lineage Eternal, and it's been set like, I don't know, 15 years ago almost, where it first got announced at like G-Star Raw, where they were showing off this game, which was basically a Diablo-like game, but it was Lineage. And then it got kind of pushed back, and this is eventually what came out of it. So it's going to be a third-person MMORPG. That's going to be the gameplay. So if you've played maybe a Black Desert, think of it kind of like that. Like you can see it's got very fast action-based combat, and you could like transform into these different animals and stuff. We'll see kind of where it goes, but it's a free-to-play game, so I'm sure a lot of you guys will end up checking out this game as well. But this is a game I've got on my radar, so we'll check out this game. Another game, this one is actually isometric. However, even though it has like the same perspective of Diablo, it doesn't really play like Diablo. It's more of a roguelike. So what that means is you start collecting your loot, but when you die, think of it like hardcore, you lose everything. So that's a game that I have a lot of interest in. The first Hades is amazing. If you guys haven't checked that out, it always goes on sale, so be on the lookout for it if you are a fan of games kind of like Diablo, in the sense where it's like a roguelike. There's a lot of roguelikes that I really enjoy, and this is a really, really good one. Well, Hades 1 is good. I'm sure the second one will be good too, but it's another game that I do have some interest in as well. And then, because I like shooter games, Selaco will hopefully drop very, very soon, and we're going to be playing this game. I might do a full Let's Play, although this game, I'm going to admit, it's going to be kind of an old school game in terms of its visuals, but in terms of its difficulty as well. So this game I'm probably going to have to heavily edit, as it's a game where you need like these purple key cards. So if you've ever been a fan of, let's say, Doom, Duke Nukem, Hexen, some of these older FPS games that are a little bit more challenging in terms of like where you can go and stuff. This is a game that I've got a lot of interest in. I really like these older games like Ion Fury, again, Hexen, Duke Nukem. I wish Hexen would get a sequel. That was a game or a new update in 2025 or something like that, which is basically like, think of it kind of like Diablo but first person. I really want to see like some huge innovation in like that sort of a genre in terms of like a looter shooter game, but like more in like the magic realm, which is kind of like Immortals of Avium, if you guys have played that game, which is a really cool game, by the way. But nonetheless, do plan to play Selaco when that drops as well. And then there's also another RPG game. This is Blue Protocol. Kind of looks like Genshin Impact. If you guys are a fan of that game, you'll probably like this game. But yeah, here's kind of what the gameplay looks like. I mean, it basically looks like Genshin Impact, but it's another game that I've got my eye on, and it's going to be another free-to-play game. So a lot of free-to-play games coming out that are looking pretty good in 2024. And then on top of that, Devil May Cry Peak of Combat actually launches on the 10th. So that's actually going to be very, very soon. I'm going to be covering this game as well. We'll have to wait and see how bad the pay-to-win is. I played the Chinese version of the game, and I can tell you for sure the difference between getting an S-rank hunter and a non-S-rank hunter is like 30 times the DPS. This game, though, it does have elements like Diablo. It is a heavy action-based game, but on top of that, the loot is actually pretty cool in the game. You can actually get set like pieces of like gear to throw on, and I like it. It was a really cool game, but you know, if they keep it the same way as it was before, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably gonna be super pay to win, and it's gonna be super discouraging for anyone that wants to be a free-to-play player to maybe engage in some of the other forms of content. But I'm sure you could have a little bit of fun with it. But it is also, just as a heads up, not only is it a free-to-play game, it will have a PC version. So it is supposed to be a mobile game, but the game is actually good though. If you're wondering, like, does it actually play well? If you're a fan of Devil May Cry, and I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan, I love that game. I've played through the whole game on my channel like multiple times, and even like streamed it multiple times. Love Devil May Cry. Like I like every single one, and we've played through all of them on the stream multiple times. But this game, it's supposed to be at Games as a Service, so it's a mobile game. But yeah, this is a game that once it launches, we will play. But I want to play the PC version of the game. I'm hoping it launches. The PC version launches alongside the mobile version, but I don't want to like wait like a long time for it. But if we have to, we have to. I just want to play on PC, man. But nonetheless, I wanted to briefly talk about Overwatch. I used to upload a lot of Overwatch, and I've been kind of like slowly dying down in terms of my Overwatch consumption rate, in terms of watching content and playing content. Really didn't like this season, to be honest. You know, sometimes that happens with a certain game, whether it be Path of Exile or Diablo. There are certain seasons where like, I don't really like the mechanic, I'm going to skip out on it. And I didn't really like the meta, which is basically Malga just being so strong. On top of that, he just wasn't really a fun character for me personally to actually play, so I never really engaged in him after playing they had like a beta weekend where you could play him, and then played him. Got my content, I uploaded some videos. I ended up going flawless, and I did really well with him. It's not like I was losing my games with him. He's like incredibly good. He's incredibly strong and overpowered right now. But I just don't really like this season. If the next season adds a lot more content, and next season we're not getting a new hero because we just got one, it kind of gives us a new hero every other season. So basically with Overwatch, I'm gonna be honest, if the next season doesn't have like some huge massive update, it may be another skip. But once the new season comes out for Overwatch, we may dabble in it from time to time. Again, like I mentioned before, a lot of you guys probably followed me for Diablo, looking at like the video views, and it's no problem at all. Sometimes, you know, some videos will get less views than others, but again, with Diablo, sometimes as the season goes on, there's a little bit less interest in the game, and that's totally fine. This is something I wanted to bring up really quickly, is Fortnite may have a Devil May Cry and an Avatar like update collab. So I don't know how big this collab is going to be, but Fortnite has been absolutely popping off with some of like the creative modes. Even if you don't like Fortnite, like there's a Lego mode, which is like kind of like in between Minecraft and kind of just its own thing. And on top of that, they have basically Rock Band. I mean, Fortnite is doing so many things, and I'm curious to see if they build a new Avatar world or what they really do with it. So I may actually upload a lot more Fortnite content in the time in between, right? Like right now, again, we're kind of in between waiting for the new season of Diablo. So I might upload some Fortnite from time to time. And I've been honestly just enjoying playing multiple games, because while I'm just playing Diablo consistently, I get burnt out, and especially after playing with so many different builds this season. And like, there's going to be a Solid Snake thing coming out, and hopefully we get some Metal Gear Rising Revengeance for that. But that's going to be something very awesome. And the next thing that's really awesome, and something like really big that I'm really interested in checking out, is we're actually going to be traveling. So just as a heads up, if I don't happen to stream as often as normal, it's probably more likely because the internet is bad where we're going. But most of the hotels hopefully will have stable enough internet for me to actually stream on. But I actually got an Insta360 camera. Now, if you guys don't know what this camera does, it's actually really cool. So how it works is it's a camera that has two lenses, and basically you get to record and you just basically throw it on. I got like this like really long tripod thing. I mean, this thing is like 3 meters. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be throwing this in my backpack and just hitting record, and I get to record basically in 360, and so I don't have to actually aim. So we're going to be traveling in the next like week here, and for the next like month here. So basically, a couple weeks, you guys will see some sort of vlog content. And what I actually plan to actually do is go to a bunch of the arcades, show you guys around, maybe some other content that will be incorporated, not just gaming, but I'll show you guys some like cool stuff over there while I'm traveling, so you guys will see kind of where we're going. If you're wondering where are we going to be going, we're actually going to go to Taiwan. So it's actually really close to Japan over here and close to China. So there's going to be a lot of cool games that we're going to show off over here. And I've got some family over there, so I'll be showing you guys some cool stuff over there. We're also going to be going over to Bali. So it's going to be very, very quick. So we're going to go to Bali and Taiwan, and then we're going to come back, obviously, eventually. And then you guys will see some really cool arcades, different like video game stores. And I kind of want to just check out the shopping and stuff and just see what kind of cool things that we can get. I'm a huge fan of like swords and medieval weaponry. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to bring any of that stuff back, but I can still show you guys some of the stuff over there, so I'm excited about that. Another thing that I plan to do, this is kind of more in the like other realm, but you guys have already been seeing this. I've been doing a lot of AI art. This is more AI art. So I've been using Stable Diffusion and DALL-E, and man, dude, some of these characters that I create, I'm like looking at this, I'm like, man, I could be like the lead artist on a video game team for like some of the like art boxes, right? Like obviously it's really hard to get some of the same characters, but AI is getting better and better. And while I'm getting better also with like using the prompts and different like, you know, programs and applications to kind of use as extension tools and kind of help me out by seeing what other people are creating. Like, I mean, look at this. This is so amazing. Like if this was like the rogue artwork on Diablo, I would have absolutely believed you. And like, it's so cool that I created this, and I put that in air quotations because like, yeah, just kind of type it in, you know, like all these different parameters of, you know, tattoos, beautiful face, dark, you know, eyeshadow, all these other things, like all these parameters to kind of meet up to get exactly what you want. And I've been getting better and better at it. And I was actually like messing around with a bunch of different things, like, you know, this obviously isn't like perfect over here. And sometimes with AI, if you've used AI art, you could tell the prompt to spell things correctly and not have any mistakes in certain things, and it'll still do it. Like I've been messing around with AI art, music, and I've always wanted to make my own video game, and finally, maybe eventually one day we can do that. I've always wanted to make my own video game, but I wanted to be like lead director on a AAA title, which is very unrealistic. But if you see any new channel icon, know that I just changed my channel icon. I'm eventually going to probably make something really cool, and I'll show you guys what it looks like, maybe a couple different variations with it. But I wanted to make a new channel icon for a while, so if you see a new one, well, you know that I created it with AI. This one's really cool too. And unfortunately, it still did not spell it correctly. That's why I wouldn't use it. But like, I love that like you know, Japanese art style, like the way that it's kind of written in like a paintbrush over here. So this is something that I've been kind of on the lookout for just in thumbnails. You guys have already been seeing it. Some of the stuff I make, sometimes my editor makes me my thumbnails, and sometimes I'll use like part of his AI generated, because he does generated AI too for the thumbnails. And I've always wanted to make my own video game. So this is something that's kind of like way into the future. Maybe not 2024 necessarily. And I say necessarily because Unreal Engine 5 is so good, and some of the stuff that Epic is pushing with some of the Fortnite creative things, even if you're not a fan of Fortnite, like we can create like Diablo in Fortnite. Like I know it sounds crazy, but it's going to get to that point eventually. Fortnite wants to become kind of like the ultimate mega hub of games, and they're kind of doing very well right now with that. So maybe if I don't create my own game in AI, I will use Fortnite assets. And if you're thinking that it's going to look like Fortnite, no. I've always been a fan of certain like art styles, and I've always preferred like the Unreal style. I'm talking about like Unreal 2004, like that, those kind of Quake. If you've played like Quake Champions, I like that kind of art style. Or like Path of Exile, I like this art style. I do not like Fortnite or Overwatch or Diablo 3's art style. I like specifically the grit. So if you like you know, Path of Exile stuff, that's what I want my game to look like. Not necessarily an action RPG. As far as the game genre, I don't even feel like it's even worth talking about now, because this is like a separate topic. We can go on about like what I want to do with my own video game for a long time. But on top of that, there's a couple other games I wanted to finish. As far as Baldur's Gate 3 goes, I still plan to eventually finish that, and it'll probably be actually really good that I take my laptop with me and we may like continue playing Baldur's Gate, because the internet might not be perfect in some of the areas, so I can't stream. So I'm like, well, I want to record some content. I still plan to do like Diablo stuff, and I'll still play Diablo, give you guys build guides. Like, I don't need really good internet for that. But as far as streaming goes, if I can't do that, well, I'm just gonna, like, I want to play games in general, because I'm gonna be probably walking around all day, and then eventually I'm gonna have to sit down and play some video games and maybe record some content. So that'll be fun as well. And if you see, well, I'm actually 100% not bringing this camera because of the way it's set up. But if you see like a new webcam or anything that is a little bit downgraded Kappa, know that it'll be temporary, and once we come back to the States, we will have good quality. This is another thing that I was messing around with, because like I said, I've been messing around with AI a lot. I've been having so much fun with this. This is going to be like one of my new channel outros that I'm kind of working on, but like, check out how cool this looks. I think it looks so cool. Basically, it was like a video game menu, like mock-up over here, but this is going to be something that I was gonna plan to use, and it was basically like when like the video ends, it's like, you know, subscribe, and then like basically there's like 2 videos that can pop up and say like, you know, you can continue watching another one of my videos. So just something else I had you know, in an idea. So like I said, I've been messing around with AI a lot recently, and it's one of the most enjoyable things really with what I've been doing that's like kind of off streaming. But yeah, so just trying to update you guys on the plans for this year, what games we're playing, kind of what we're doing. So expect to see some like vlogging content in the next like week here, and then that will be going on for like a couple weeks, and then we'll be back basically playing more games. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys have some good resolutions for this year. Let me know, guys, what other video games that maybe I missed out on that you want me to play. Let me know down below, or if you guys have any other goals and stuff like that. I never really honestly make goals, because I just plan to just make content. That's like kind of like the way I see it, in terms of like, I don't have the goal of I want to hit like, you know, a million subscribers. I know a lot of you guys came to my stream, were like, yo, do you have any goals for 2024? My goals are to play more games. Is basically my goals right there. All of those different games, and mess around with AI, right? I don't try to set goals as far as like, I want to earn, you know, 200K subs. I just kind of focus more on like, you know, I want to plan to do this. That's kind of what my plans are for this year. But anyways, that's gonna wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here though, and you do want to see any of the things that I've been talking about, hit subscribe, turn the bell, and definitely see it more very soon. But take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.